Alright, welcome back everybody. It's Cole's Farm, North Carolina. It's June 24th. It's about 3:15 in the afternoon. This is the week 13 inspection. So the last inspection took place on June 10th, which means this is 14 days since the last time I got into the hive, and this is also the longest. Queen cells develop in 16 days, so we'll be keeping an eye out on those, and supersedral cells and swarm cells. It's 90 degrees, it feels like 101, so this is going to be a quick inspection, as quick as I can make it at least. It's 62% humidity. According to the WeatherBug app, it's 4.2 as far as the pollen rating. That goes out of 10, which is low to medium, and the predominant source of pollen right now is grass, so nothing great for the bees. I placed a 1 gallon freezer bag of 1-to-1 syrup, which is about 6 pounds, in the hive on June 10th, and I removed it last Saturday, which was the 18th, and it was bone dry, so they drank 6 pounds in less than 7 days. So week 13, we're about to get into the hive here in a second and see what we find. Frame 3 of the top brood chamber, they've actually continued to work on this, and this is actually being drawn out quite nicely, so still optimistic. Whether or not they're going to draw out the top chamber before winter, time will tell. Frame number 4 of the top brood chamber, and surprisingly enough, she is actually starting to lay in here. There is just a few cells that are capped, but there's a few more with larvae and quite a few with egg, and the egg is clearly easy to see on the black plastic foundation, which is something I've been curious about for the last 2 months since I started this venture. And here we are 2+ months later, and sure enough, easy to see. all these cells right next to this cat brood have egg in it. Hopefully it'll pick it up on the camera. So this is something that I'm very curious about now, because some people say it's not worth supplementing the bees, but going through a dearth right now, meaning there's no pollen blooming, well, there's not a source of pollen, but they are drawing out a lot of this comb, so I'm actually going to keep supplementing them. I'll give them another 1 gallon freezer bag tomorrow of 1-to-1 syrup, which is about 6 pounds worth, and they should continue to draw out the comb. Look at that, frame 5. Got honey in there. And eggs. So, same thing, frame 5. A whole lot more comb developed since last time, and she's laying eggs in here very nicely. Larvae in different stages. A few of the cells have been capped. I haven't seen the queen since I released her. I've said that quite a few times now, but she's doing her thing. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing, so I'm going to keep supplementing them sugar water. They seem to do quite well with it. They're producing a lot of comb, and the comb in this stage right here is good enough for her to start laying eggs in it. What not to do. That was a first. Oh, this is interesting. We have two cells right there that if they're on the top third, I believe they're supersedral cells. Bottom third is swarm cells. I could be wrong. I'd have to clarify that, but regardless, I don't see anything in there. I'm gonna squish them down just so that might convince them otherwise. frame 3, the first brood chamber. This is one of the new comb, or one of the new frames and foundation. And you know, continuous, the side that faces the interior of the hive is continue to be built upon, and the side that faces the outside of the hive is slow to be built on with comb. Frame 4, it's a nice looking brood pattern, starting to fill up from the from right to left. It's a good looking pattern. No queen yet, but she's laying in the top brood chamber, like I said, so she's been here in the last 3 days, because those eggs are sticking straight up. Actually, in the last day, if they're sticking straight up, and then they start to fall over day 2, day 3, and start to pupate after that. Got some bees cleaning out some old cells over here. Frame 5. Frame number 5. Frame number 6, again, pretty solid brood pattern. All the cells that aren't capped have larvae that are spun and probably going to be capped in the next few days. And then the other side, there she is. There's the queen. She's still marked. Not the best marking. I took my eye off for 1 second. There she is. Very top. So she's actually on frame 10-9, frame 8. Let's see if we can find her laying an egg. Just plowing through. Very top of the frame right now, right in the center. Faded yellow dot on her thorax. This is by far the heaviest frame. This side is halfway capped. Same there. Same on that side, but good lord, this is heavy. All right, well, that was week 13's inspection. It took about 30 minutes, give or take a few. Overall, that went excellent. I was very surprised to see that the top brood chamber had more frames with drawn out comb. I believe frames 2, 3, 4, and 5, I'd have to look back at the video myself, had more drawn comb, more so enough that the queen has actually ventured into the top chamber and has started laying eggs, which is excellent. So despite what people with more experience have said about not supplementing your colony with 1-to-1 sugar during this time, I'm going to continue to do so because I believe that through the supplementation of the sugar water, they are actually drawing out comb from that source, even though it's an artificial source of food. So I'm going to place another 1-gallon freezer bag in there with about 6 pounds of 1-to-1 sugar tomorrow, and I'm on a 10-day cycle, a little late this week, 14 days after the last inspection, but I anticipate getting in the hive in 10 days, so probably around the 4th of July or so. And if they continue to draw out this brood chamber, the top brood chamber, I'd be very happy to have it built up before winter rolls in. Overall, things went excellent. Found the queen in the first brood chamber on frame 7 or 8, possibly 8. She is still marked, even though it's a very faint marking on her thorax. For the most part, it's faded off except a small portion of it. But she definitely is moving around, so that explains why it's been so hard to find her in the last 2 months. Either way, things went great. I'll have more to come next week, and see everybody then. Thanks for watching.